Hey guys, Michael with Base Theory Training. Hope everyone is doing well, and thank you for joining me again today. Another beautiful one from Scottsdale, Arizona. Let's do this. Again, guys, it's extremely important that we get a good warm-up, not just from a physical aspect, but from a mental aspect. You want to be present, and you want to draw clarity from the proper oxygenation, the proper movement. Whew, that'll get it done. Feel my heart rate elevating. Again, guys, I love doing the mountain climbers with the rotation because it puts us in that transverse plane. The transverse plane is twisting of the body, top to bottom, extremely important for any athletic movement that we will be doing. So again, make sure that you're touching in a transverse plane daily. It's beautiful, right? All right, guys, it's extremely important that we touch on balancing movements, because what balancing movements do, they help to challenge the stabilizing muscles, right? And if we're strong and efficient with our stabilizing muscles, it allows us to be more efficient neuromuscularly and within force production, right? Allows us to lift stronger, better, faster, just makes us more complete humans. I'm a fan of training without my shoes. Obviously, these shoes are pretty fresh and sweet, but you want to train barefoot as much as you can. And what that does, that allows the foot to naturally do what it's supposed to do. When you come into a movement, you want to make sure that your points of contact are activated, okay? So when you go barefoot, make sure your toes are grabbing the ground. And what that's gonna do, that's gonna help build up the arch naturally within your foot. I'm flat-footed. I don't have any issues with my feet. I never have. I have strong feet, but that's from being barefoot most of my life. Okay, so toes grab, make sure you torque out, just like so, tighten up your femur within your hip socket there, okay? Again, like I said, working in balance or with balance movements is going to help challenge and make your stabilizing muscles work a little bit harder. That forces them to be activated, okay? So one of my favorite movements is just going into a single leg balance here, okay? And throughout the movement, what you wanna do is you wanna go into different planes of motion. Okay, we have transverse, we have sagittal, and we also have a frontal plane. So you wanna start here, okay, point the toe, and I will give the set and rep count in the description. Okay, own the movement, come back to base, and then out to the side, just like so, and then circle around. And that's the transverse plane. Try to stay upright. Again, as you start to fatigue, you will feel your body become unstable, and you want that. We want to fight through that, right? That's where we're starting to get some stimuli to our central nervous system, right? Neuromuscular efficiency, and that makes us more productive in all that we do as humans. And I can feel the burn right through here. You want to set position, hinge at the hip, bend at the knee, just like so. Switch sides. Again, make sure that you're activated throughout your foot, okay? Toes grab, just like so. Okay. Point, stabilize, set position in the hip, bend at the knee a bit. Again, the joint that breaks first is gonna take majority of the load. So if I bend at the knee, my knee's gonna take the load. You do not want that. That's why people have issues with their knees, because they're so used to going to the knee first versus the hip. You want to activate here, so little bit of a hip hinge, boom, just like so, then a little bend at the knee. Ah, perfect, I can feel it in my glute, okay? So I'm here, come around, and take your time, own the movement. If it starts to burn, that's what you want. You want to feel that burn. Just like so, your hands, keep them here at prayer center, or you can place them on your hips, whatever you're more comfortable with. And your gaze, try to keep your gaze about 6 feet in front. All right, guys, for our next movement, we're gonna go into a reverse plank. Great movement for posterior side of the body. So anterior, front, posterior, back, okay? Make sure you bring your feet together, point your toes, fingertips facing forward. You're gonna drive through the hips, point, squeeze your glutes, your hamstrings, look up, and then push away from the ground, lower down. Come back up, hold, breathe, exhale. Inhale up, exhale down. Make note that you're also building torque within your joints too. So what I mean by building torque is don't just be lax with the arms. Rotate the eye of your elbow forward like so. Points the toes, feet together, drive up. I like to inhale up. I hold the movement and I hold my breath. I sync my breath to the movement. So guys, it's super important that we own the movement. You don't want to rush through these movements. You want to be able to build a relationship with these movements so your body understands what you're going to ask of it the next time that you guys go into these movements. All right, guys, our next movement is a step down. It's one of the best movements for hip stability and knee stability. So what you want to do is you want to find a platform that you can step down in a controlled manner. First, set position, make sure that your points of contact, your toes are grabbing, okay? Extremely, extremely important here that you break at the hip first, right? So make sure that this foot here is close to the platform. You want to bend at the hip and slowly lower yourself in a controlled manner. Keep your hands at first center, or you can keep them on your hips. You want to take your time with this, right? This is going to help train those stabilizing muscles that we need for efficiency, that we need for coordination. And again, it helps us to be more productive within our training, and it keeps us bulletproof from injury. So this is what it's going to look like in real time. You want to, again, slowly break into the hip, toes are grabbing, take your time with it. If you're unstable, that's good. That's your body telling you where you need to work, and that means that your stabilizing muscles are hypersensitive and hyperactive. You want to challenge the movement. Whenever you challenge a movement, that's always going to be a benefit, right? Because eventually your body's going to adapt to it, and that raises our baseline with efficiency and within our body. And just like so. So you're gonna inhale down, exhale up, take your time with it. I will put the set and rep count within the description. All right, guys, for our next movement, we're gonna go into a prisoner lateral walk. Okay, so what you wanna do is you wanna set position with your fingertips behind your head. Okay, and what that's gonna do, that's gonna help to elicit our shoulder blade strength there, right? Because in our daily life, we are being pulled forward from all that we do. Okay, so you start here, and you're gonna hinge at the hips. Okay, now we're gonna go into a lateral movement, and now we're touching on hip strength, just like so. Make sure your back is not rounded, that you have a nice, strong back, and that keep a gap. You're not compressing, so you want to keep a nice gap there, and then really continue to fight with your shoulder blades, just like so. Make sure that you're not pushing on your head. All right, guys, for the final movement, we're gonna go into a walking lunge. There's many things that we need to consider when going into a lunge. Really wanna focus on how we set position. So what I like to do is I like to make sure that I'm not hip width apart, because when I go into it, I'm not really focusing on stability as much in this movement, right? So I don't wanna set myself up and I have to really fight it. I'm working on more of a strength type movement here. So I'm gonna step forward. I'm going to hinge at the hip, and I want to keep this back leg locked out, right? I'm going to make sure that my toes are grabbing, my heel's flat. I'm going to drive back up to base, pause. I'm coming forward again, so I'm inhaling down, bending at the hip, sinking into it. Here's the thing, you want to make sure that you squeeze your glute, because that's going to allow your hip to release, okay? Keep your chest up, drive through. A little off balance there. Again, try to use your environment for different type of stimuli. So again, I'm coming forward, bending, keeping this leg locked out, driving through. And this is what it's gonna look like in real time. Again, not so much concerned with stability here as I am with a little bit more of strength activation. Some overlap with it, if you will. Hey guys, as a trainer, I think it would be irresponsible of me not to give you the foundational and the base work, right? A lot of these movements that we're doing are not sexy, they're not exciting, but they are necessary so that when we do go into our training, that we do not bring bad habits and that we're healthy. The goal is to have strong structural integrity, and you have to do that through base building. You can't do that when you're in the movement already and you haven't corrected your imbalances. It's extremely important that we correct our imbalances so that when we do train, we're efficient.